Most of you know that having some kind of light should be a part of your preparedness strategy and even your everyday carry. And this is good because it's in your hand and it can extend the light out a bunch of yards actually. But there's another type of light and lighting that goes beyond your physical body and your hand that is very useful. And you've seen them in the movies, and they come in little containers like this. And they're called Chemlights. I don't know quite how to pronounce the Kyalum is the company that makes these, and these are pretty much what all of our military and NATO uses for lighting. And you've seen them in the movies and TV. You take them out of this package, you crack it a little bit and you shake it, and then you have a light. You also see them at parties and at clubs, you know, these things that go around your wrist or your neck or whatever. But these are industrial strength. They're very bright and they last 12 hours. And it's 12 hours till they're like dead. But they give you a good 6 hours worth of very useful light. And they come in different colors. This one happens to be yellow. I've got green and I've got red. They also make blue, white, and a couple other colors. Now I chose these for the stoplight red, yellow, green thing that we're used to. But as a civilian, you have to ask, well, what could you use these things for? Now, when you take them out of the container, one end has a little hook on it, and in that hook is also a hole that you can use to lash these onto, which then starts to give you some really interesting ideas of what these could be for. Now, they're 6 inches in length. Let me do it this way, 6 inches in length. And they have an expiration date. They usually last for 5 years, but the expiration date can be found inside there. And this one is good until I think July 2019, which is next year. And I'll just refresh these. I'll keep them. I won't throw them away, but I'll get ones that have a newer expiration date. Well, what are some of the things as a civilian now that you could use? Remember, the military uses these. And so I started looking around and asking questions, well, what would I use them for? Well, clearly they're to be when a light can't be in your hand, right? So you can put these onto things and even onto people. So you could lash these on, and by the way, it's 12 hours, so you're really talking about in darkness. So you could put different colors on the backpacks or hanging off of different people. So you could tell at a glance where certain people in your party might be. One color could be for the red party, another color could be for the blue party, and so forth. Or you might want to do, in my mind, I reserve red for danger. So I only would use red to mark a spot that you probably should stay away from. So marking, letting who is where. You can also mark a spot. So you could put one of these on a tree and say, at this color, it marks a certain spot on the trail for others to follow. If you're in camp, they could be, here's where the latrine is if you're out in an unimproved area. Or this is where we've laid down bikes or something, and you don't want anybody to trip, so you might put a red there. So marking for safety. Marking for rescue, in case, so everyone should have at least some of these on their person. They're lightweight, they don't weigh anything, and they take up almost no space. So if you fall, these things will last for a while. They can be seen for a distance, and that allows someone to find you. Signaling in general, obviously, would be across a distance, and you would be waving these things in different colors. So you might even have a code for different colors if you wanted to do it that way. Now, of course, they are a light. So let's say that your primary light went out and you still needed a light that would last a while. You could crack one of these open and almost wouldn't matter what color it is. And now you have light for an extended period. And even though it says 12 hours, I wouldn't gamble more than, say, 8 of any useful light as far as walking around and avoiding objects. So if you can think of any other examples for civilian, non-military use for these things, I'd appreciate some ideas myself. And so if you could just add those in comments for the rest of the folks on the channel, or anyone who happened to come by, I'd welcome that. I'd appreciate that. Now, what makes these things so useful? Well, waterproof, will work anywhere. Underwater, rain, wind, they're going to work. They're non-flammable, so you don't have to worry about starting a fire or having something blow up or worry about fumes. These things will work, and they will provide useful light even in those kind of conditions. They do have a long shelf life, several years, and that's what's advertised. It'll probably go longer than that. Like I said, I'm not going to throw these away when it reaches the expiration date. I'll just get some new ones and store these away. When I talked about visibility, I mean, without obstructions, these things can be seen for a mile, and that's quite a distance. So there's an advantage in using these to get back home or have other people find where you are and so forth at those kind of distances. They're cheap. They cost maybe $1. You go to almost any Army Navy store or camping store, and maybe they're $1.25, right? Get the ones that are Kayalum. There are knockoffs that I wouldn't really want to spend my money on. They're less expensive. That also means, in my mind, less reliable. I mentioned earlier that these things can be placed onto people or placed onto objects so that they can be identified in the dark. And that's why it's very useful to think through some color coding. If you have any ideas on which colors you would use for which, that would be kind of fun to know too. So I put this out there. I think everyone should have some of these. I've got 2 of each color, of the red, yellow, and green, and in my kit, and then I carry some in my go bag in case I need to use that at night. So let me know what you think. As always, thanks for watching, and carry on.